up, everybody? This is Xeryus. We're checking in with EntertainMe Viewz.
What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Jody, and you are tuned in to another episode of EntertainMe Viewz. We sit down with your favorite people, okay? Favorite creators from Atlanta and everywhere today, actually. My special guest is joining me. He is a guitar artist, a multi-platinum songwriter at UMPG. Been doing music for nearly 30 years.
Right.
You've been working alongside great artists. You work with Stevie Wonder. You work with Chris Brown and other artists. So he's been out here doing the thing. So we're going to talk to him real quick. I have the privilege of knowing him and watching him, I want to say grow, because clearly you was playing guitar back then?
I was playing guitar back at Savannah State where we met.
You was?
I was doing little talent shows at the school and everything. So, yeah. So far.
And then, okay, since I have been, stalking you a little bit.
Okay.
So you were, you started off doing covers and stuff. Would you say that contributed to?
It definitely led to me actually making music. You know, just doing YouTube covers in my dorm, you know, and it just led to me making music. I would get really creative with my covers and, start gaining a following. From there, people were like, yo, you should make your own music, and, yeah.
So how was that process? How did you even start doing your own tracks?
My own tracks? So I sent a producer, my bro, John S.K. Mickey. He's a multi-platinum producer as well. Started sending him my guitar covers, and basically he told me come up to Atlanta. So I used to take little random trips.
Where were you?
Oh, I was in Savannah.
Okay. This was back then.
This is back in Savannah.
Okay.
We at Savannah State. I didn't even really tell anyone I was making these trips to Atlanta. It was over the weekend. I was stopping making, see my family, my brothers, my two little brothers. And I would go to this producer's house. And this producer's house is executive producer, Grammy Award winning Troy Taylor. And basically that's where I learned how to songwrite on the guitar and make tracks. So, yeah.
Wow. Yeah. So you was doing secret missions.
I was doing secret missions, you know. I was, creeping, out the back corner.
Yes. So, okay, did you know how to read music, or were you playing mostly by ear?
Yeah, I first started out reading music when I was younger, but then I more ear trained, and I guess I pretty much helped myself ear train, by doing covers and posting them online. Yeah.
Is the guitar the only thing you played?
I played other instruments. I marched at Savannah State on a snare drum, and I crossed a non-Greek. Yeah, all that.
Right.
We,
so that means you was in band in high school and stuff,
I was in
too.
band in high school. I feel like I was in all the music programs in high school.
Really?
Except for chorus. I was in keyboarding class. I did the band ensemble, the marching band. I was in the orchestra.
What you play in the orchestra?
Played the violin. I was the first violin on the orchestra. Yeah.
So you're just musically talented.
It's musically talented, and I just came to a point, a realization. It's like, yo, I could be really good at, all these instruments, or I could be even more just master one instrument, And so I just sat with myself and I was like, yo, which instrument, do I like the most? And it was the guitar.
What drew you to the guitar?
When its curves, its shining paint, all these nice factors of the guitar I love, and how, when you play the strings, how you can feel the vibrations against your body. And it just, you feel it more, and I believe even doing those different covers at the talent shows, just seeing people's responses to me playing the guitar, it's yeah, this is my favorite. Yeah.
But I've also seen you grow into being a guitar artist. Now I feel like you are a superstar. Okay, you already were, but you perform now. What made that? What happened?
Well, I always used to play at church. Growing up, played at my uncle's church. He gave me an opportunity to play at his church, and that was the first church I played at. And on the side, like just by going to school, like, you're a broke college student. So I would, try to do little gigs on the side and make some money so I can, get a cheeseburger or something, not have to go to the cafeteria
Listen.
all the time,
Right.
depend on that, and so that's a blessing that I was able to do that. So yeah, I did the studio, and then I also was in like the musician world, and those are two different worlds. I feel like, yeah.
What's the difference, would you say?
Um, they all tie in at the end of the day, but musician life and studio life are two totally different. I feel like musicians, we have to learn the music. We have to perform it. Like, you can't fake it when you're playing live. You know what I'm saying? In the studio, you keep repeating until you get
get it
that
right.
part right. You know what I'm saying? When it comes down to the performance area, not talking about business, but like more of like just really people see your skills in real time, so you have to really sit with your instrument and grow with it over time, and that doesn't come overnight. So
And you be doing all types of things to that guitar.
oh
First of all,
yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah,
when
that's my
did you start
baby.
getting like? When did you start feeling that? You know what I'm saying? You become one with the guitar.
Oh yeah, for
When you
sure.
said talk about his curves, I saw you smile. But
Oh yeah, you know
y'all
what
gotta
I'm
go see
saying?
him play it though.
Gotta check me out, follow me on IG or something, or come check a show.
When did you decide to treat it like it was your
This is my baby,
yes,
cause she
baby?
is my lady.
Yes, lady.
She's my lady for sure. I mean, she helps me eat. At the end of the day, you know, um, she sings for me. So like just taking it up a notch, and really, studying. That's one thing Troy Taylor taught me when I was coming up. And he still teaches me that, to study the greats, and I just noticed one thing that stands out. People use their body language more than just playing their instrument or just singing. And I believe if I tell someone I love you and I'm holding a fist, they might receive that wrong. But, so I translate that to the guitar, and I want people to, feel the way, see me move and, feel my music and this God-given gift, you know, a little bit more. So I use my body more as I play. Yeah.
And then what's like training like for you?
Training is something that you just have to have discipline, You have to see the bigger picture. It's not all about you. You know what I'm saying? You have to I go to the gym. I actually have 2 gym sessions. It used to be 3, but I'm in school now, so I need to
What you
make
going to
sure.
school for?
Interdisciplinary studies. I graduate this May,
Oh,
2025.
don't
Yo,
play.
hey, educated.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
Why did you choose that major?
I like it. I like it a lot. It was something that just have it helps with like problem solving, especially complex problems and everything. And I was able to tie in my previous major, which was electronics engineering and computer engineering, and I can tie those into just one major. And I also took some business courses to help me out as well, So yeah.
So you're talking about the bigger picture. You're playing the guitar now. You
Yeah.
got this interdisciplinary studies on
Right.
because me in school. Listen, what's
That's a
the bigger
long
picture?
word.
It is. I'm like,
That's a long word. Whoever came up with that, man, they could broke it down a little
So,
bit.
we solve problems. See, but how does that tie into the bigger picture for you?
Just with my school and music, it's gonna help. Just me taking those business courses, it helps me with like my music because it's the music. The music industry is a music business, and everyone is a business. I'm a business. If you're a producer, you're a business. A musician, you're a business. So it just helps you understand about marketing and all kinds of things like your finances and all of that. So have a better understanding. I mean, it's cool to definitely gotta be street smart, but book smart at the same time. So you can be able to respond to things in a professional manner. Yeah.
So how was like tour life for you?
Tour life was fire. It was definitely a challenge. My first tour was with Eric Bellinger, amazing Grammy award winning artist, songwriter as well. And I'm honored that he gave me the opportunity. He believed in me to take me on tour. It was cool. Like the first one was just the month, December in 2019, and we just toured around the country, like to some of the bigger states. But people think you on tour and you turning up and you got these girls and all that. Yeah, you do. But to be honest, it's a real job. Like you gotta check in, you gotta make sure you're on point. You can't be like so turned that you can't show up and perform or you're gonna get fired. Like any other job. So in order for you to have that be consistent, and not get blackballed because you're messing up and you're not professional, I took it really serious, but it was definitely fun, it's an honor from God that I can, go from talent shows in school to, playing in front of hundreds of people every night, so.
So where do
Yeah.
you want it to take you now?
Oh, most definitely my team, and I tell them all the time we're gonna make music history on the guitar, with me songwriting and me performing as well. I definitely believe that God has given me this gift to share with the world. I do it in a rock and roll R&B sexy way, but I'm gonna spread His light. I'm gonna tell people about faith. So I got faith tatted on me. I believe that's one of my purposes in life. And yeah.
I will say, one time, I don't remember how long ago this is. It probably was like
What?
10 years ago. And you had like posted something about like some scriptures you were reading.
Okay.
And you were like, if you want to know what I've been reading to help me get through it, I don't know what you was going through. I barely remember what I was going through. But I still have that sheet of paper I printed off. I really meant to bring it because it's like in my journal. It was like a whole bunch of scriptures, like Proverbs. It was like it was like 20 scriptures on there.
So what I did is like, like I definitely believe that God really has brought me from a long way. And when I moved out to LA, I didn't know what I was getting myself into. You know what I'm saying? Like, just to be honest, it wasn't like a dream, for me to, just be a Hollywood star or whatever, and stuff. So when I went out there, I faced many challenges, and it made my relationship with God be even closer. So what I used to, like, whatever I was going through at the moment, I was like, I'll go on Google and I'll type in my problem and I'll like write scripture, and it'll basically take me to that scripture. And then there was many times where I just open up my Bible randomly. I'll pray and I'll open up my Bible randomly and I'll just look down and it'll be that particular scripture, and it'll be talking about like what I'm going through. And I was like, wow, let me, and then what I did is I would write out each on my phone, the whole scripture. I'll just type it out and I would put it in my notes on my phone, and I put it in like a certain type of order as well, So yeah. So and then I just randomly went on Instagram and I was like, yo, if y'all want me to send you a scripture, some scriptures that really helped me out, and I sent it to you and I sent it to others, and and I'm glad that it helped.
Yes, and I'm glad you did that, just like you were saying.
It was something real. It was real. Everything was genuine. It's what I went through. So I believe that's why people were able to relate to it, because yeah.
And I would say even like dealing with the stuff, it's like still everyday stuff. If you probably still deal with some of the stuff that you were going through then, but with those scriptures, it'll help you fight. So they really are
Most
not
definitely.
like a time to it, you know.
It's
Like
not a
I
time.
read them then when you sent them to me, but I found them now and I need them again. So
Uh-huh.
you know, that's
Yeah.
how it works. It's dope. Yeah. So you know, it just takes you so far. You
Yeah, it
just never
does.
know.
Yeah. So I'm glad it helped.
Yes. So what else? What else you working on? What kind of tracks? You know, you got some
Oh
Grammy. You
yeah.
don't have 3 Grammy nominations,
Oh
so I know you
yeah,
got
for
some more
sure.
in the
Oh
chamber.
yeah, of
What you
course. You
got?
know what I'm saying? Just drop a record with Ladera, song called Kimbo Slice,
Mhm.
and I co-produced that with some great individuals. Um, and yeah, that released today. I'm excited for a track with a fire artist, amazing artist. She comes from the girl group K-pop, Blackpink. That's
Okay.
one of the probably the biggest K-pop girl group. Her name is Jennie, and I
Mhm.
can't say the title, of the name of the song yet because she hasn't dropped the track list, but it's with Jennie, Jenny, and I'm super excited for
Mhm.
that. It's her first solo album. She just signed with Columbia Records and everything. So just to hear my guitars stretch even worldwide is a blessing.
Mhm.
So yeah, keep it going. Staying consistent.
We're gonna get a solo album from you.
Yeah, definitely.
Mhm.
That's what people been telling me I need to do my own stuff. So like, I believe it's going to happen naturally. It's going to
Mhm.
happen. You know, it's going to be smooth because I've been, always like just training myself and learning, and I'm always open to learn. And as I'm growing with my instrument, I'm becoming more and more like, yo, like I believe I am an artist, you know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And it's something that, like, you just chosen. And I believe everyone's an artist, to be honest. Whatever you do, we're all creatives,
Mhm.
and stuff. So yeah, you just walk in your purpose. And we're all artists.
So what
For real.
made you choose like the guitar to express yourself as a form of art instead of
Oh
just
man,
working on computers or
on
something?
computers, what made me choose it? It felt like I tried everything in life, and the guitar music always kept me afloat. It was always something great happening in the midst of me going through whatever life gives all of us, you know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Everyone goes through things in life, but like it just showed me like, yo, this is truly a gift. I always my grandparents or grandmother always told me, yo, use that as a back burner, and it's always been here when I tried everything, whether
Mhm.
it's relationships, whether it's school, whether it's like anything. So yeah,
It's
so
always
I
been there.
chose. Yeah, I believe it chose me. Like, I've been playing the guitar since I was 8 years old, and I'm 35 now, and so it's just something that just comes. It's a part of me,
Mhm.
you know. It's not for a show. It's not to get the ladies. It's not. This is me.
Well, I've seen you use it as a little
Oh
bait,
shoot.
a little pun occasionally. Y'all tap it on the Instagram, okay? Because
Hey,
sometimes he be on there talking about who want me to play them a song
hey,
tonight. First of
hey.
all, what you
Hey.
playing?
I'm playing Nice and Slow by Usher. You know what I'm
No,
saying?
mirror, don't you weep.
In those jeans
No,
by
see,
Genuine. That's what I'm playing. Yeah.
no, it's okay,
I
dog.
mean, I'm just a smooth, man. That's the type of music I like. I came
Mhm,
up under Troy Taylor. He's a R&B, pioneer. Even coming up under Stevie J, from Hitman,
mhm.
and he's a smooth guy, very Grammy award winning executive producer as well. And I was very blessed and fortunate that God placed those two individuals in my life, to help me. And I've learned a lot from both of them. Shout out to Troy Taylor and Stevie J. You know, and so yeah, like it's just a part of me. I'm not, you know,
Mm-hmm.
uh, just joking around or like, this is really me.
Mm-hmm.
When I play that rock and roll, that smooth, you know, music.
That's
Yeah,
you.
that's
You just
me.
that
No
smooth.
acting with the dance moves. Yeah, ain't nobody show me, how to
You
move with
do
my guitar.
be you.
Yeah, because like as I was studying body language and all that, and these two great artists came to mind. It
Mm-hmm.
was Jimi Hendrix and Prince. And Jimi Hendrix, he would just like drop down and
Mm-hmm.
just make love to his guitar, you know what I'm saying, in front of everybody. And then Prince, he would move around, he would do spins with his guitar, and he was just smooth with it. And
Mm-hmm.
so, Troy Taylor told me one time I did like a cover song to Prototype by Outkast, and uh, he was like, "Yo, you need to move on the beat more."
Like,
And he was like, "You should dance. You should
mm-hmm.
learn how to dance." And I was like, you know what? He always, when I was in LA, he always used to like, tell me little pointers and stuff, and then he would just go. He would just
Mm-hmm.
he didn't disappear from me, but
It's
he
like
just
he'll
knew
drop it
he
and
would
then.
drop it, and he definitely sees something in me that he knows that I would figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And so I remember it was during the pandemic, and I had hit up my bro that just opened up a gym in Glendale, and I was like, y'all have a like a extra room with some mirrors that I could practice my guitar. And he was like, yeah, yeah, So I was in Florida helping out my grandmother, and I flew back to LA, and I would go to the gym, and I would walk in. Imagine somebody walking in a gym
With that
with their
guitar
guitar,
and amp.
people looking at me like I was crazy, you know what I'm saying? And I did feel kind of a little weird at first, but I saw the bigger picture, and
Mm-hmm.
I, I would go to the room, and I tell you, like, I stood in the mirror, and I was like, yo, what do I want to look like right now? And I just looked at myself. It was my first time actually just looking at myself, and I was like, yo, I want my guitar hanging a little bit lower. So I lowered my guitar strap, and I turned on the beat, and I thought I could just do it, you
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? But I had a
You thought
awakening. I thought I could just like move
what you
and move
see.
around, and
Mm-hmm.
what was in my head, these visions that used to come to me, and it definitely sent from God. Um, but I couldn't. Like I needed my shoulders was hurting, my fingers were hurting. I could barely play my guitar with it hanging down that low. And I
Mm-hmm.
remember just going there and for months at a time, and I couldn't even like the sound, like like wasn't like, it was hard for me to play my guitar down there. And so I would like lift weights, and then pretty much I was trying to train my muscles to to work overtime, and then
Mm.
I would go straight into the room right after, to gain some type of strength there. Like I was just thinking in scientific forms, like if I'm lifting weights and your muscle tears, and so I'm like, yo, I want it, so once it tears, I want it to grow in a certain way. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? And stuff, and
See,
so
that's when you mix that school with that street smart. You feel me?
yeah,
Whip it
yeah,
up. Like, okay.
just your
So,
imagination. I
mm-hmm.
like psychology, and just like just really looking into things and breaking it down. Yeah,
So then, what helped you get into like the dance move
the
groove?
the
Did you have?
dance. Yeah, like so I saw Jimi Hendrix,
Mm.
he and Prince, and Prince didn't really move on beat. You know what I'm saying? He just had a smooth walk. And Jimi Hendrix didn't really just do like turns and twists with his guitar. He would just drop down low, and of course he showed out like with his
Mm-hmm.
guitar skills and everything. And I'm like, yo, when Troy Taylor told me I should dance, and I'm like, yo, what do dancers do? They look in the mirror,
And then
you
you got
know?
in the mirror.
And so I got in the mirror, and I would practice, and it
Did
was
you already know how to dance?
non not at
Cause I'm
all.
like
Like
that would
I'm
have been
starting to get
difficult for me.
right. and I could still get some dance lessons now, like for real, because like I only know how to move with my guitar. You like on some real, but it was difficult, Jody. Like especially like playing and moving at the same time. So I'm trying to gain strength to play my guitar low and move, and you know, yeah, like
And
it was
play.
different. Like I was
Yeah.
off balance, like crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like so I had to really break it down from, just walking in a straight line and walking backwards. I really broke it
Wow.
down. To science. No, maybe one day I would like open up a academy and give out like some of my,
You probably
you
just put
know,
somebody on right
yeah,
there though
yeah.
while you
I already,
playing.
but they still got put in the work.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Because it took me years of like going to that gym, and I remember on my second year going there, I was like, oh, finally I can like move my fingers a little bit faster down there.
Mhm.
I was starting to see the progress, and then the people that's in the gym that was going there on the regular were like, yeah, I hear you. And it was so crazy though because it was like cameras set up there the whole time. It blended in with the paint, the wall paint.
You didn't even
and,
know.
one of the guys, you know, uh, uh, shout out to District Sports in Glendale. One of the guys told me that, yeah, we see you in there. We see you in there practicing and stuff, and they must have really saw something in me because, like, the membership it was a private gym, and the membership was
Mm.
like very expensive. But then, like, God must have placed it in their heart. They gave me the code to the gym, and I would go to like I would have my earlier gym sessions,
Mhm.
go to the gym again late at night, and I would be in there like playing from like 11 to 1 sometimes,
Locked in.
like AM, like, and I did that like weekly, like, what I'm saying? I did
Mhm.
that weekly, and it was a very challenging mentally, uh, but award winning thing
Mhm.
that I'm glad that I made um, time to do that, during the pandemic, because I could have been trying to do that while everything is like, open
Mhm.
and everything. So yeah, I'm glad I was able to utilize that time, and God gave me that passion to keep going.
Mhm.
Yeah, that drive.
Now I know it's a challenge like physically, but like mentally, I don't know. If I would have been in there trying to dance and not been able to get it, I'd be like
Right.
the little girl. I get frustrated. I'd be like, I'm not doing this no more. Okay.
Yeah,
So
right.
how did
For
you
real.
like get past those
Man.
moments? Because 2 years, when you said 2 years, I'm like, let's talk about patience.
Yeah.
Okay,
That
because you
first
got it.
that first year, like, time go by and stuff, and it's so crazy because I even injured myself during the process of doing that. Like, but yeah, like I remember like one time just standing in the mirror, and I was talking to myself. I was like, yo, Xeryus, you could literally just like raise up your guitar strap and you can play. Why are you playing your guitar like super low? And I actually like, changed the strap and brought it up, but it didn't hit right. It didn't
Mhm.
move right. It didn't have that slack that I could like move with the guitar and
Okay.
my feet and my shoulders, and I just always looked at the bigger picture. It's almost like, when you get a tattoo, when they first start out and you feel that
Yeah. First,
initial pain, like, what I'm saying, but you know that, yo, if I stick through this pain right now, it's gonna be a fire tattoo.
because who gonna walk around with a comma?
You know what
Like
I'm
you gotta
saying?
make
Who
a
going with a
decision.
comma,
Like what
a
happened? Well,
line,
what happened was
right? You know
I
what I'm
it
saying?
got a little too, and I quit. Okay, you
Right,
know
right. You
what?
know what
That's
I'm
a
saying?
that's a
Yeah,
message right
yeah.
there.
So like, I mean, that's with anything in life. Like, I feel like I believe all the greats, you know, they're so good at what they do is because they learn um, about having patience. You know, like I even approach it this way. Like, we all have different jobs that we had to hustle. Like,
Mhm.
and I used to work at Hertz, car rental, and at first, man, it was like a lot of pressure trying to, rent cars out. You're slow, you're still learning, the software and
Mm-hmm.
everything and stuff. And so like, but as time went on, I got faster at renting cars and look, I'm not even looking at my keyboard, you
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? Because I kept doing it, and if I could do something that I know that's not my career that I want
Mm-hmm.
to do, I can give that same amount of energy to myself. You know what I'm saying? So yeah,
So what's like a day in the life with you for you?
day in life with me, shoot, it's a vibe. You know what I'm saying? Nice colognes. You know what I'm saying? You wake up feeling blessed. Even on good or bad days.
Mm-hmm.
And day in life, I wake up, I go to the gym.
He aggravated. I'm not doing it.
The first thing, I'm like dragging my feet. I'm like, yo, I gotta hit this gym. Like, you know what
At
I'm
least you
saying?
honest. You said dragging my feet. How long it take you to
Like,
wake up when it's time to get
I'm
up?
be honest with you, but discipline. You looking at the bigger picture. You know what I'm saying? Now I got a team. I have managers.
Okay.
I'm signed to Universal Music Publishing Group, and I'm not take like yo, I'm not taking this moment for granted. You know what I'm saying? I gotta keep doing this. I'm thinking about like whenever I have a family, whenever I have kids, like I'm able to provide for them. So this is the bigger. It's more than me. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? So I wake up, I go lift weights, and then right afterwards, I go to the boxing gym and might lift some more weights there, and after that I come back, to the crib, try to get something to eat, on my way in, and I work on schoolwork or I
Mm-hmm.
start making music, and you know by then, like, shoot, my day is like it's already dark.
By
You know
then,
what I'm
for sure.
saying? You already did all that work, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's just really having making sure I get things done before I have fun. So I start
Mm-hmm.
my days off really early so I can
What time?
um my alarm clock likes to wake me up around 6
Not it likes to wake you up.
because that my alarm be ringing, you know what I'm saying? I get up around like, maybe like an hour later or something.
Okay, you be asleep or
No,
you just hitting
you
snooze?
hate sleep right next to me because my alarm clock be going off. I gotta like pace myself, the first ring is like, it wakes up maybe like a toe, and then a couple of other rings might wake up like both of my feet. It hasn't come up fully to my head yet. You know what I'm saying? So
So
it's
why you
like
just don't
it's
set it
my
for the
body.
time you want to get up?
Maybe they should create like an alarm bed that vibrates the whole bed, because for
First,
some reason, like, the alarm clock, when it goes off, like, it doesn't wake me up like the first initial rings. So it's like 6, and I'll probably hear it like around 6:30 or something.
does the alarm get in your dream or
I
it
just
don't
don't
enter into your
I
dream?
just
You
don't
just
hear it at all. You know what I'm
well,
saying?
you got all the other stuff. You so used to sounds.
But I just feel like by the time I hit my bed, I'm like I done did so much.
So you start at 6. What time you usually go to bed?
Maybe like 1 after 12 for sure.
12 a.m.
AM.
Oh,
Yeah, that's probably the reason why. Okay, yeah.
yes.
All right, so hey, we just figured out why my alarm clock doesn't wake me up
You sleep,
on
sleep.
time. Yeah, you
You
know what I'm
need
saying? I'm
it.
catching my Z's. I'm
Okay.
knocked out, yo.
So you're pretty busy. You said you want kids and a family. I'm nosy. So how do
Yeah,
you
for
date?
sure. How do I date?
Are you dating?
Yeah, well, I mean, I
Uh-oh.
go on dates. I ain't, I'm just waiting for the right lady. You know what I'm saying? For real, I could, the right lady allow me to be a rock star, but being a rock star is not like, yo, I'm doing all these drugs and, have these girls all around, and so it's just finding the right one, someone that's very confident in themselves and, is sure. I've also worked on my mental health. I've had therapy too, you know.
How was that?
Oh, it was needed for real. Like I believe it should be a recommendation that like everybody gets like some therapy sessions by the time they hit like in their 30s because by then we all have been through all kinds of stuff, so it's just like I believe everyone should like have someone to talk about their childhood trauma or relationships or anything so they can be that person for someone, whenever they're in a relationship. You gotta work on yourself first, So it was amazing, what I'm saying. I'm thankful for it. You definitely gotta work on your mental, especially as an artist. You know, in the music industry is very important. Troy Taylor always talks about, you know, work on your mental health and everything.
So
Yeah.
outside of therapy, how do you work on your mental health?
Outside of therapy, well, I don't take therapy anymore,
Mhm.
but it just really helped me be at peace, including God gave me
Mhm.
peace as well. You know, it's just like just you know how I respond to
Mm.
things is better. Whether it's rejection or anything, like I always try my best to see the best in everything, and I just know that like how I respond to certain things is not everyone responds the same
Mhm.
way. And everybody's entitled to how they feel, how they move. And, so having an understanding of that too as well is,
Mhm.
not being so selfish with things. Yeah. So, yeah, the music, staying busy, boxing
Mhm.
helps me, as well, lifting weights, surrounding myself with kind people, goal-driven people. Since I just moved to Atlanta, um, seeing my friends and my family has been
Mhm.
great as well. To be able to see them even more, versus me living in LA. So yeah, like
So what do you do for fun
for fun,
outside of?
boxing and all that.
Mhm.
Oh, for fun, shoot. I guess recently it's been going out a little bit. Yeah,
Mhm.
having some fun. Yeah. I believe I deserve it. I was so like isolated and so so focused and everything, and so now being in Atlanta, I could have like best of both worlds. Like I gotta have a little bit more social life,
Mhm.
outside of the music.
That's what's up.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Well, I definitely appreciate you for coming
Of
through,
course. Thank you for having
dropping
me.
gems.
Thank you.
Listen,
Yeah,
spreading the
it's an
word.
honor to be on your show.
Thank
Thank you.
you. Thank you. And I know
Yeah.
I'll see you more since you're back. I
Yes,
had to find out on
definitely.
Instagram he was back. Oh, sorry.
Hey, hey.
My bad. I'm sorry. I
No,
was
no, you
full. I was
good. You can let people know I'm out here. You know what I'm saying? I'm in the A. What's up?
Yes, you gonna see him at your next jam session. You never
Hey,
know. We outside.
you never know we outside.
And where can they follow you at on social media and
Follow
everything?
me at Xeryus G. So it's XeryusG. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
so
that's all my social media, TikTok. If you have TikTok still, you can't download it. But, Instagram, you
you still
know,
got your TikTok on your phone.
yeah, I
Oh,
still got
okay.
it. Yeah, got it on my phone, my iPad.
Double up. I'm just kidding.
Double up, make sure I was good now. But yeah, like you just type in my name, Xeryus Gittens on Google, you'll find me. There's not too many Xeryuses.
Mhm.
So
Well, yeah. So, like I said, I appreciate you for
thank you for
coming
having me.
through,
Hey,
and I
it's a vibe
appreciate
here.
y'all. Oh, thank you. Listen,
Yeah.
I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Make sure you keep it locked and subscribe to EntertainMeJody.com just to keep up with the latest in the news, trending topics, exclusive content with your favorite people. Okay, we outside. And until next time, see y'all. You gonna play something while we?
Oh yeah. Play it.
Do not play with him.
Don't play.
Stank on your face.
Hey.